The Daytona 500 is without a doubt the largest and most important race in NASCAR. That's why it's known as the Great American Race. But this could all be at risk if certain issues are not addressed. This race was once the crown jewel of the NASCAR season, but recent trends suggest it's losing some of its magic. The race still attracts a large audience and significant attention, but it no longer feels as irreplaceable as it once did. Over the past decade, changes in racing dynamics, media coverage, and organizational priorities have slowly altered how this iconic event is perceived. Let's first look at what made the Daytona 500 so special. This race is one of the longest-running annual events in motorsports, with a history spanning more than 60 years. Held at the Daytona International Speedway in Florida, it's a spectacle unlike any other. The track's high bank turns and wide layout create a unique challenge for drivers, combining speed, strategy, and nerve. Winning the Daytona 500 was considered the ultimate achievement, and the Harley J. Earl Trophy symbolized that accomplishment. In the 1980s, 90s, and early 2000s, the Daytona 500 was the season opener that set the tone for the entire year. It was a race that could define careers. Legends like Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, and Jeff Gordon cemented their status by triumphing at Daytona. However, the prestige surrounding the race has faded somewhat. While it remains important, drivers today often talk about other races with equal or even greater enthusiasm. For instance, up-and-coming stars like Kyle Larson and Noah Gragson have publicly stated that they value victories in other races, such as the Chili Bowl or the Snowball Derby, just as much, if not more, than a Daytona 500 win. One reason for this shift is the nature of modern superspeedway racing, particularly with NASCAR's next-gen cars. These cars, introduced in 2022, were designed to enhance safety and level the playing field by making it harder for teams with bigger budgets to dominate. But the new design also brought challenges. The cars generate more drag, making it harder for drivers to move through the pack or create their own momentum. As a result, many races have turned into what drivers and fans call pack racing. While this style looks thrilling on TV, with cars racing inches apart at 200 miles per hour, it leaves little room for driver skill to shine. The outcome often depends more on luck or being in the right place at the right time than on pure talent. Take the 2023 Daytona 500 as an example. The race ended with a surprise win by Ricky Stenhouse Jr., a driver who had not won at any other race that season. Similarly, the two previous winners, Michael McDowell in 2021 and Austin Cindric in 2022, also failed to win another race in their respective seasons. These results raise questions about whether the Daytona 500 still rewards the best drivers or has become more of a wild card event. This unpredictability has frustrated many top drivers. Denny Hamlin, a three-time Daytona 500 champion, expressed his concerns on his podcast, saying that current superspeedway racing does not allow drivers to showcase their skills as much as before. He and other drivers feel that the reliance on drafting and pack racing diminishes their ability to make strategic moves. Kyle Busch echoed this sentiment when he criticized the racing style, saying it feels like you either ride in line and accept your position or risk everything and likely finish at the back of the field. The decline in the Daytona 500's prestige is also tied to broader issues facing NASCAR. Over the past 15 years, the sport has seen a significant drop in TV viewership. In 2013, the Daytona 500 drew over 16 million viewers. By 2023, that number had dropped to around 8 million, a 50% decline. This mirrors the overall decline in NASCAR's popularity, which has struggled to maintain its fan base in a rapidly changing entertainment landscape. NASCAR's decisions regarding the Daytona 500 and Speed Weeks, the series of events leading up to the race, haven't helped either. What used to be a multi-week celebration of racing has been condensed into just a few days. In the past, fans could enjoy preseason testing, practice sessions, and the Clash exhibition race, all of which build excitement for the main event. But preseason testing has been eliminated, and the Clash has been moved away from Daytona altogether. While NASCAR has made small adjustments, such as adding a practice session before qualifying, these changes feel like baby steps rather than a return to the grandeur of the past. Another issue is how the Daytona 500 fits into the larger NASCAR season. The race is still the opener and offers the biggest purse of the year, but it no longer feels as central to the championship story. In the modern playoff format, winning the Daytona 500 guarantees a spot in the playoffs, but it doesn't carry the same weight as consistent performance throughout the season. This change in structure has made the race feel more like a standalone event than the defining moment it once was. Despite these challenges, the Daytona 500 is not irrelevant. It remains one of the most watched motorsports events in the U.S. and draws massive crowds to the Daytona International Speedway. The race still holds a special place in the hearts of fans and drivers, but to restore its former glory, NASCAR needs to address the issues that have contributed to its decline. For starters, NASCAR could revisit the format of speed weeks. Bringing back preseason testing and expanding the schedule would help generate more excitement and give fans a reason to tune in earlier. The organization could also consider tweaking the rules for superspeedway racing to allow for more strategic driving and less reliance on pack racing. These changes would make the race more competitive and give drivers a greater sense of control. In the past, the Daytona 500 was known for its highly competitive nature. The drivers often competed at high speeds, taking daring risks to secure the win. However, as NASCAR's rules evolved, particularly with the introduction of restrictor plate racing, the nature of racing at Daytona changed. The restrictor plate was designed to limit the car's speed and reduce accidents, especially during the high-speed races at superspeedways like Daytona. While this innovation was made with safety in mind, it also caused some unintended consequences. The racing became more pack racing, where drivers had to stick to a single line and maintain a steady pace to avoid accidents. This made the race less exciting for both the drivers and the fans. As a result, we saw a shift in the kind of drivers winning the race. In the 90s and early 2000s, it was the Hall of Fame drivers who dominated Daytona. Names like Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Jarrett were regular winners of the Daytona 500. Their skills behind the wheel, coupled with their ability to make bold moves in critical moments, made the race thrilling to watch. But today, the Daytona 500 has seen a mix of winners, including drivers like Austin Dillon, Michael McDowell, and others who are not quite as widely recognized as the greats of the sport. While these drivers are talented in their own right, the changes to the car's design and racing rules have impacted the competitiveness of the race. It's not just the racing format that has changed. The way the Daytona 500 is broadcasted has also evolved. While it's understandable that Fox and other broadcasters need to make money through commercials, the sheer volume of ad breaks during the race detracts from the excitement. Some fans have compared the changes in the broadcast to a sports game where the commentators don't convey the intensity of the moment. In previous years, announcers used to capture the emotion and drama of the race, especially during the final laps. Today, the broadcasters often fail to match the energy of the fans watching at home. Racing, particularly the Daytona 500, is about more than just the cars on the track. It's about the atmosphere, the roar of the engines, and the emotions that are built during each lap. When the announcers aren't able to convey this intensity, it makes the race feel less important. Now, without hesitation, comment down your thoughts right now. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well to catch all of our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.